This week, we get Slippery and Slidey in Race A. A Beetle goes rallycrossing in Race B. And we overtake a Boomer in Race C. Welcome back, everyone, to the Gran Turismo Weekly Race Guide here in 2022. Of course, it's Gran Turismo 7. And in the background, you have the choice of a Subaru BRZ or a Toyota GT86. And we're at Suzuka, the full circuit. Let's have a look at those race details then. We're racing 5 laps here at Suzuka, so it's a long race. It's a grid start. You will need traction control, sports hard tyres, times 1 fuel and tyre wear, and bot is fixed. That's all you need to know. And of course, because Daily Race A has changed in GT7, you literally can bring your own car with a wing and everything else, which is exactly what I did. I made it look properly like Need for Speed-esque with that wing. It's huge. In the background, you can also see some timestamps. So if you want to check any part of this video out, please jump to that. But without further ado, let's jump to that race and let's have a look at exactly what happens as well as a guide for you. Here we are then at the start. Shout out to Shelty and Sai there, 2 TCR drivers. And I'm on my TCR account as well. I had enough money just for all 3 cars today. As we sit on the grid with traction control on 1, get ready to go, and off we go. You can see traction control engaging there, and Sai in the distance in a TCR livery. Now, there wasn't one there when I checked, so Sai has done that very, very quickly, or not shared it. Sai, what's going on? But we're going to head down towards turn 1. I was very scared here being on the outside, just because, you know, if you're on the outside at Suzuka, turn 1, usually end up on the slippy stuff and off to the realms. We all survived, though, so good racing from everybody. Sai goes a little bit slow through there, so I'll try and get up on the inside. And job done very quickly as we then head into the left. We've got Picky Zolly there, keeping that position of P10. So through the right we go, and then we're going to look on the inside. This is a bit of a dive and a half by me, but Picky Zolly sees me, gives me space. Fair play to you as we then head into the right for the first time. So 5 laps here at Suzuka. Long laps as well. So this is a very long Daily Race A. In fact, this is probably the perfect length of a Daily Race A, actually. So a shout out to Gran Turismo for this one. As we see, Codge got it all sorts of wrong here. We're going to follow up Picky Zolly through there, up into P10 as we head towards Tidgney 1 and 2 for the first time of 5. In we go then, and you've got to be careful with this car. You can see it's a little bit oversteery. Same for the BRZ. I'm in the Toyota, of course. As we leave that corner then, and we're going to head towards the hairpin. This is where it gets really, really, really sketchy. So not on the brakes, but accelerating out the corner. This is how I imagine the car drives in real life, actually, to be fair. Because it was designed to do this, to be playful at low speeds. As we say, oh, rally jet, saved it. Oh, my way, saved it. Oh, no, I see. Oh, I can't tell. He's got off the rear mirror there. Oh, that was a close save. But hey, some good racing. But out of that corner especially, when you accelerate, the rear wants to step out. And I'm pretty sure that's how the real-life car would handle, or how they'd want it to handle anyway. As Picky Zolly goes for a dive and a half there. Oh, TB Shadow doesn't quite work out. And we continue through Spoon then. A couple people going wide there. We're trying to get on the inside here. Do we do it? Now, we've got a bit of a run on Picky Zolly. And there's just enough room. There is a Toyota GT86 size gap here. And I'm putting myself in it, but too wide at 130R. Not really advisable here as we head down. I was hoping they'd give it up, but they didn't. So I brake early and I decided to give it up. Choosing the better Valor or whatever. I can't remember the saying. But anyway, we're going to continue into the chicane. Now, the chicane, you've got to be very careful here. Do not cut any part of this. You will get a penalty, including that left there. You didn't used to, but Picky Zolly goes a little bit deep. We're going to go around the outside here and carry on through. Discretion was the better part of Valor. That's the saying I was after. I was thinking about that then. In towards the left we go. Scrup goes all on the inside, so I go around the outside here. I get a slight tap there. They don't realise I'm here, but through we go all the same. And we continue on. However, I get that penalty. What on earth is that penalty? I was clearly on the inside. The car, he was still on my side of the track. Nowhere did I force another car off the circuit. What is that penalty? Oh, I mean, I want the penalty system to stay because I don't want like continuous moaning and then it disappear like we did last time. But oh my word, that is a horrendous penalty. And 2 seconds here, so we're 7 seconds or 6.9. Nice. Off the leader. Let's actually see what that is because we're already a second down on the leader. And now we're over 2 seconds down. That is a 3-second penalty at least. for that, which wasn't even my fault. So we get a run on Turbo Toys here. They were wiggling a bit there. I wasn't really too happy with that, with the wiggling. I hate all the wiggling because you're sort of reacting to what I'm going to do. Anyway, come through here, and I was still there, so I back out of this then after the contact, and we're going to continue on with the racing then. So Turbo Toys, we've got Picky Zolly up ahead, and I can't see who's out. We've got Scrupp again. Now, obviously, it wasn't Scrupp's fault either, that penalty. Scrupp just turned in. I was there. I would have just said that was a racing incident in the grand scheme of it. Certainly, I was alongside before the corner. As we see, Turbo Toys gets it all sorts of wrong then. We're going to go down the inside. We're going to be the outside for the hairpin. I was scared here. I was very, very scared. And I was constantly looking at the radar. And I see Turbo Toys slightly hit Picky Zolly here. So I knew I had to give more space than normal. As they accelerate out the corner, I stay right behind Picky Zolly here. Picky Zolly's having a superb race as well as we continue down the inside of Turbo Toys. So back up into that P8 spot then. And we've got a couple's chance of the cursed position here. P6 is on the cards. Let's see what we can do. We've got 2.5 laps to go, or 2.25, however you want to work it out. So I got a little bit defensive here in terms of making sure Turbo Toys does not try and go for the inside. And we do it again on this corner. Right, safe and sound. Accelerate through the corner then. Let's see what we can do as we advance further on then towards the next lap. And you see Turbo Toys looking down the inside. But I knew if I stayed in the slipstream, I'd be fine. So in towards the braking we go. 4th gear. And Picky Zolly's got past Scrupp. And you see Scrupp's just lagging a tiny bit. I mean, that could be the server for all I know. We know what the servers are like at the moment as we continue on through there. And I was like, ooh, should I go for the same move again? No, not this time. I did not want to get another penalty for no reason whatsoever. As we go into the right-hander then. And Turbo Toys is looking down the sort of outside. It was inside. Going to outside then. Is Turbo Toys going to get this done? This is a superb move if they can. So around the outside we go. We're sticking it there. We're keeping it there. Look how close this is. And we're going to keep it there. The slight tap as they run a little bit too wide. But we're on the inside now. We accelerate through the corner. Just enough space there for Turbo Toys. And we keep that position. Now that, my friends, is a good defensive bit of driving. If I do say so myself. Right, come on, we need to get past Scrupp now. We need that P6 position. It's there. We can see it as we come through the first Tidgney then, in towards the second Tidgney. And Turbo, I don't know where Turbo was going there. But we get a bit of a run on Scrupp then. So we're going to look towards the right-hand side. We're going to be the outside for the hairpin. But I know Scrupp isn't a bad driver. You know, that penalty wasn't their fault earlier on. So in towards the braking zone we go. We're going to try around the outside. Now, do we get given space on the exit? Look at the oversteer there. It's controllable oversteer as well. It's really nice, this car to drive. And through we go. Fair play to Scrupp as well. Superb driving. They're leaving just enough space for me. Yeah, brilliant stuff. Brilliant racing there, Scrupp. Happy days. Right, lap guide time, because it's the final lap. Heading towards turn 1 then. Look for that orange painted barrier on the left. Normally I'm using the tarmac. But because I'm in a road car, I'm having to brake a bit earlier and the car's a bit sketchy under braking. So use that. Stay in the higher gears if you can. I drop a little bit lower when I'm low on the revs and then drop to 3rd gear for the second part of turn 1. Now, you stay in a higher gear to avoid the weight transfer when changing down. That's all it is. It keeps the car stable and that's why you would do that. In towards the SSN, don't brake here. Just lift off where you need to. I dab the brake there because I'm just carrying a bit too much speed here. But each time, you don't really want to be dabbing the brakes. I have to dab the brakes there because Picky Zolly is on my right-hand side. But again, this is the one corner you will dab your brakes on here. And you're trying to keep the car above 70 miles an hour through all of that, except that one corner there. Then in towards the S here, or the left. And as you accelerate through here, do not change gear until you are settled. If you change gear too early there, the car will get oversteery and you'll have to catch an oversteer and it'll lose you a lot of time. So heading towards Tidgney 1, you're looking for that mag? What's a mag? A flag marker on the left-hand side there. Just before that, you're going to brake and you're going to stay in 4th gear. And you want to cut a bit of the inside if you can. Through there you go. And then the tent on the left-hand side, as that hits the edge of your screen, you're going to drop to 3rd gear. It's better to brake early here. I saw a lot of people going way too aggressive into Tidgney 2 and losing so much time. Brake early and then really attack the inside corner and accelerate through the corner like that. Look at the amount of time we gained there. It's huge, huge, huge. So do that at Tidgney 2. It's better to brake early than later. So we're going to look for that photographer on the right side for the hairpin. We're braking just before the photographer. So as we come into here, I'm going to brake a little bit later here as well because I had Picky Zolly on my left-hand side initially. So we're going to go a tiny bit deep. Nothing major though. We get around the corner and again, be careful that oversteer there. You just see the oversteer. It kicks out every single time. Just be careful of it. It will bite you at some point. We've seen a couple of pieces of that today. So we're going to head towards Spoon now. Nice and easy for us. We're going to head towards the right-hand side of the circuit. We're going to be braking earlier than normal here. So on the right-hand side, you've got the orange painted barrier. We're normally braking at the tarmac, like turn 1, but because we're in a road car and the brake seems to be not the greatest and it's a little bit unstable, brake a little bit earlier, drop to 4th gear, let the car roll through the corner a little bit, balance the throttle if you can, accelerate a little bit, and then brake and 3rd gear for the second part of spoon then, as we come through there. Now we're going to accelerate all the way towards 130R. Because no need to know what to do here. Now, 130R, you do have to brake for the 130R. Now, you're braking just before the 50-meter board. You can brake a bit later than I am here. Now, speed-wise, apex-wise, it's a difficult one to judge because if you get it slightly wrong, you're going to go wide. Now, I would say 110 is probably where you're after. As you notice there, I was just a little bit too wide, a little bit too aggressive, and it slowed me down too much. While it looks quick, it was a little bit slower. 110 is probably what you're aiming for. Now, the final corner, the chicane, you're braking just before that yellow line on the right-hand side. That's the marker I use. You could use a 100-meter board if you want. Now, 3rd gear for this. Do not go to 2nd. Now, you want to cut a little bit the first part, but avoid cutting the second part at all, or that much, no more, because you will get a penalty. It's very, very, very easy to get a penalty there now, and it will catch a lot of you out because we're used to cutting that second part of the chicane. We come home in P6. Big congratulations to Shelty there. Getting a top 3 in terms of TCR drivers. But that is it for race A. This one, you will be able to have some good racing, and I highly advise you do give it a shot. Let's jump to race B then, where we go to a duplicate combo already. Welcome then to Interlagos. And we are in Group 3, which we did plenty of times on GT Sports. And apparently we're going to be doing plenty of times on GT7 because this is a duplicate combo already. There are tons and tons and tons of tracks we have not used yet in Gran Turismo 7. And yet we're on Interlagos again. I really don't get this. I really wish they'd picked a different track. But even so, here we are, Interlagos, Group 3. Let's have a look at those race details then. We're racing 6 laps here at Interlagos. It's a rolling start, and we're on the racing hard tyres. Tyres 1 fuel and tyres 1 tyre wear. Nice and easy with bot being fixed. Now, I chose the Subaru because it was instantly at the top of the leaderboards, but the Beetle seems to have come to the forefront. We're staying in the Subaru, and I think you can race a few cars here in Group 3 and actually have a pretty good race in the grand scheme of it. Shout out to TCR_Vapern for your TCR livery. Very well played, my man. This is a brilliant one. Thank you so much. Let's jump to the race then. Let's have a look at a lap guide as well as some of the racing action because it gets kind of close here at Interlagos. Here we are then at the start. Shelty again in here. What an absolute legend Shelty is. We've missed him for a couple of weeks. He's in nearly every single race today. No, he's in every single race actually, as you'll see in race C. However, this is race B. This is Interlagos. This is Group 3. Let's see what we can do in 6 laps then as we head towards the start-finish line. To actually start our race, because the rolling starts are a million miles away, we can already see some action up ahead with Markman going defensive against Morgan here. In towards the left we go. Beautiful defensive driving there from Markman 46. Maybe a Valentino Rossi fan. I'm not too sure with that number 46. Yeah, we're going to head through this left. There's a little bit of lag there from Morgan. So we do have to be careful of that. 1 bar. Not very good rapper, it looks like, as we head towards the left-hand side. They do as well, so I back out of this. And they brake so late. And look at the awareness from Markman there, 46. That is unbelievable awareness. Markman 46, you are my driver of the week this week because you drive superbly. You do drive superbly. My driver of the week this week. Shout out to you. As you can see here, still driving superbly in an RCZ, even though the MR cars have been relatively nerfed in the grand scheme of it recently. But even so, you're still driving it because you support it. So we're going to continue on then, and we're going to get on the inside then. Markman knew what was coming, just lets me go by on the inside. And then we're going to fall into line here as we head towards turn 1 then. Is Markman going to go back for it? No, not quite. Oh, we've got Chris off there. Now, I saw Chris go off here and I knew exactly where he was going. So I really let off and just let them drift away to the outside. Markman did the exact same thing. This is why you're my driver of the week. You had showed such awareness. It was so good to race you. As I say, just super duper shout out for you. As we then see a Honda GTR. That's new, isn't it? A Honda GTR. Is it the same Godzilla? Not too sure as we continue on out of that last corner then. Can we get a run on Godzilla? That is the question. We're in a Subaru. That thing normally monsters the miles, but look at this. We have a run on Godzilla then. Where are they going? They're going left, going right. Paris-Yo? I don't know how you pronounce that. I'm sorry. My French accent is awful. But they go towards the right. We go towards the left. We brake and... Oh, we got Ricardo off there then. And I wasn't sure what's going to happen with the ghost in here. They come back across. I was all sorts of confused. So I had to just give that up, really, in case I absolutely sent them to the realms. So we're going to advance a bit further on, get into the racing action here. So we're looking down the inside. Not going to quite work. Ricardo comes across there. Actually tries to get on the inside of Suzuka and actually hits them as well. I think that was an accident. I think they may have had a bit of oversteer here. I've not driven that car, so I don't know how oversteery it actually is, but it seemed like oversteer more than anything. Me and Suzuka, slight contact, nothing major there. We're having a good bit of racing here. Look at this. Leaves just enough room here on the curb. And beautiful stuff from you as well as we head into the right-hander and we get it stopped. Brilliant bit of racing once again, having some superb racing here as Ricardo getting sideways once again. Really struggling in that Nismo GT500 car. Now, it comes across my nose there. I wasn't too happy about that because I could have sent you to the realms there and that wouldn't have been my fault because I did make the apex absolutely fine. But even so, we continue racing. Let's see what we can do with Ricardo. So we go towards the left-hand side then as we head down towards his left-hander. Oh, just not alongside, but to make the apex, it's still fine. We do it. Look at that beautiful, beautiful move, if I do say so myself. Up into P10 then, and we have Welsh 15 in the new car up ahead. Right, what we're going to do, it sounds amazing, by the way, as well, this car. I heard it a mile away. So where they're going towards the right. We go towards the left. If you don't know, that's the GT300 car. And we're clean on by and into a lap guide as well. So turn 1, I always use the second red canopy on the left-hand side. If it's time trial, there's coloured stairs on the right-hand side that you can use. But I use the canopy there just before that leaves my screen. I brake and I'm going to clip the inside here. I then want to just lift off a little bit through the first part of the middle part of the center S. And then I have to lift off here because it's a little bit of understeer now. But we accelerate through and jobs are good. And so we're going to accelerate all the way down to the left-hander where we made the move on the GT500 car. And on the right side, what we're looking for here is either the end of the wall, the 100-meter board, or the tarmac up ahead that joins to the circuit. Any one of those three, generally good for all Group 3 cars. It depends how deep you want to go, how safe you want to play it. All good as we then clip the left-hand side and accelerate through. A bit slow through there, to be honest. I could have done that a little bit quicker. So we continue on then up towards the complex middle section here at Interlagos. On the left-hand side, you have a Marshall box, which you can use. It's bang on the money as that leaves the screen. Or you can judge it by the 50-meter board. Choose wisely, because both are useful as we then come into here. Now, you want to clip the first part of the curb, go out, and then come back in, and hopefully clip the second part, but I just miss it. Get towards the left-hand side, and as that tyre mark clips the curb there on the left, that is your brake mark. You see, I'm just braking just before that. So as you progressively go through the week, you're trying to get as close to that as possible as you judge your trail braking accordingly. Get on the inside here, cut quite a lot of that. And then as you head towards this left, you're going to dab the brake a little bit. Don't do it too much like I did there because you force understeer and you don't want that. Careful oversteer as you leave that corner. Head up here and the Mistral sign or the dark green sort of astroturfy stuff on the left-hand side. That is your brake marker. You're going to have to judge it based on the car here because some cars can brake much later than the WRX and some have to brake much earlier. And you want to get round here. You might want to short shift to third to avoid oversteer like there. I got a little bit. You're going to have to lift off a little bit here because we are on racing hard tyres and continue on through towards the final corner where on the right side, I'm not using grass anymore. I'm using the cross in the fence as my brake marker there on the right hand side. Use that, brake just as that hits the edge of your screen, and you should be golden for making the last corner. Be careful on exit. Remember, we've seen oversteer in the past here when we've been at this combo before, and we're going to advance towards the final lap then, where we do not catch up to P8. We're just too far behind. We are in a slipstream, but it's coming down very, very slowly. But you can have a couple of bits of good racing here. I just think there were so many better tracks they could have picked that we've not even used yet and had a bit of fun with. Wow, look at TCR Shelty winning the race. Well played, Shelty. You absolute legend representing TCR beautifully. But that is it for race B. Let's head to race C. Welcome then to Fuji for race C. We are in Group 2, but specifically it is just the modern GT500 cars. So they are specific cars that you have to use, which is good. It means we get some GT500 racing, which is what we all wanted, really. You know, separating the groups a little bit more so you can race each category of car within inside that group. How they should be categorized, really. Let's be honest. Let's jump straight to the race details then. Let's find out exactly what we're doing here at Fuji. We're racing 12 laps. We've got a rolling start, which you don't need to worry about. On the racing soft and medium tyres, but mediums are the ones that are required, so you're only picking mediums for the race. Times 1 fuel, times 1 tyre wear, which is unusual, and BOP is fixed. And that is that in terms of the details for the race. Now, most people pick the GT500. Everyone picked it. I mean the Nissan GTR with the odd exceptions with the Lexuses there as well. So both of those are good choices. Nobody really picked the NSX, which is unusual. I've not tried it out, but it's an MR car. And if all MR cars are atrocious at the moment, that will also be as well. Huge shout out to TCR Hines 04 for delivery. Thank you so much, mate. Much appreciated. If you want to join TCR, by the way, check out the description. And the website is going live either today or tomorrow. So keep an eye out, because if you're a TCR driver, you're on the website. Let's jump to the race then. Let's have a look exactly what happened, as we have some good racing here, as well as a usual lap guide here at Fuji. Here we are then at the start. Again, shout out to Shelty. Starting in the lead now is Shelty. A few familiar names in here as well, including Max Power and Wind 109. Now, we're going to get ready with that TCR liveried GTR GT500 car, the brand new one. Well, I'll say brand new, it's 2016, as we get ready to go. Then there's the Enormous. We've got Max Power. We got Bart behind here. So remember, when there's tyre wear, there's tyre temps. I've not mentioned it this video. I'm mentioning it now. Warm them up. Warm them up. It's worthwhile doing as we head towards turn 1 then. Wasn't too sure about my braking zone, but we got it okay. Just be very careful, and we'll talk about the actual brake market later on. Oh, somebody got it wrong here. Who's that on the left-hand side? It is Abdullah, and actually some awesome sportsmanlike stuff there. Brakes and lets everybody go there, except the driver behind, but pretty much lets everybody go there. Abdullah, shout out to you. As we get on the inside of Enormous, as they just got a little bit too deep there in towards the right-hander, and we take full advantage of that. And in towards the braking zone where... Oh, Max Power got airborne there at the side of Wind 109. That was all very tight. And in fact, so Max Power's got a different wing on. So you can go and buy a different wing on this car, it looks like. To head down towards the chicane for the first time of 12 then. I'm sort of staying in the middle of the road here to sort of stop any lunges and just make sure that, you know, people are aware that I want to defend this position. As we leave that corner, and this is a good place to go for an overtaking move. If you get on the inside here, as we do there, as Wind gets a 2. What was that penalty for? I don't even know what that was for. So we've seen 2 dodgy penalties today, but Max Power just leaves the door open there. I get on the inside. I know I can do this with Max Power, because I know Max Power is a very clean racer, a very well-aware racer as well. So, you know, I can go for little lunges here and there in terms of that, and it is safe to do so. To me, you can always go for a lunge if you make the apex. If you make the apex, a lunge is fine. It's up to the other driver to be aware of said lunge. As we see Wind there, I wasn't sure about the ghosting, so me and Max Power both go for avoiding action. As we see D-Enormous going in the pits there, they're going to go to the soft tyre, as we see Max Power go towards the right-hand side then. So they've used their mandatory medium tyre already as we go in towards the braking zone. Then Max Power looking to get it stopped. I thought Max had got a bit too deep. Nailed it beautifully. Well played indeed. Now they know I'd want to come back at them. They're having a good little race here, so they go towards the left. I'm like, okay, I'll stay here. Okay, I'll go back across. I'll try around the outside. Don't try around the outside here. It's a terrible idea. So we're going to advance a bit further later on in the lap, where we catch up to Tune Up, Boomer, and Max Power as we come through left. And once again, I'm getting on the inside here. So I'm just looking to take the shortest distance to that apex. Max Power gives me room as well on the exit. Beautiful stuff. This time, rather than getting on the inside, I'm going to stay on the outside here of Max Power and try and go around the outside here. And unfortunately, Boomer slows down enough to really slow down Max Power, and it gives me an advantage off the corner. So up into P10. Brilliant racing with you, Max Power, as always. But Markman 46 gets my driver of the week this week. Otherwise, it would be you. Now, we've got a bit of slipstream from Boomer, and we get to the inside of Boomer and head towards... So there's some Boomer jokes going to come in here at some point, I'm sure, especially in the comments. Right, down in towards turn 1. We're on the inside here. Lots of people everywhere here, so I give a little bit of room on the inside, a little bit of room on the outside. Everybody makes it through. Happy days. We're the one who benefits the most then. Up into P9. The reverse curse is ours. But up ahead, we've got Tune Up and Thierry. So Tune Up gets... Oh, a little bit oversteery there. Now, where are they going? So I'm going to try on the outside here then. They stayed on the inside. Is this going to work then? We're keeping it on the outside here. Oh, my word. Oh, they give me room as well. Beautiful stuff from Tune Up. We go around the outside. That was an amazing piece of driving from Tune Up to catch the car, be aware of another car as well. Shout out to you. We've seen some awesome driving this week. We really have. Now, I know they're in my slipstream here, so I'm a bit concerned. So I dart to the right quickly. That saves me some of their slipstream, and then they come over, and then I head back towards the racing line. So I always say you can make one move and then head back to the racing line. I don't agree with weaving, but that isn't weaving. That's just racing. So we're going to head into the next lap, where we've caused up to Thierry 65 then, as we get a bit of a run on Thierry. That'd be a lunge and a half. I don't think we'd have made that at all. And through we go. Oh, who's that? We've got Adam off. I don't know where Adam was, but certainly not in the right place on circuit. So we advance further on, and we're still behind Thierry here in that Lexus. I say the Lexus is a good shout as well. It's both the Nissan and Lexus that you'd want to pick for this week in terms of daily race C, unless there's been a change to the NSX that we don't know about. As we head to the final corner once again. What can we do here? So we're trying to get on the inside and accelerate through. And we're going to have slipstream here. This is all ours for the taking. Now, of course, with times 1 tyre wear, you really don't have to pit at all. Just stay on the medium tyres throughout. As we see, we get that little bit of slipstream boost then. We're going to get alongside Thierry up into P6. Oh, my word, I just realised. P6 is the cursed position. As we head towards turn 1 then. We're going to hit the braking zone. They try and outbrake me around the outside. In fact, I broke a little bit early, actually, I would say. But we get the position all the same. And we're actually looking now for P5. We've got Muscovy, 3.5 seconds. We've got a few laps to do it, though. As we... Oh, never mind. I'm going to say a few laps. We needed 1 corner, apparently. Muscovy going to the realms there. Right, let's go into a lap guide then. To turn 1, where am I braking? At the start of the grandstand is your marker, but you're braking after that leaves your screen. So just after that leaves your screen, hit the brakes, okay? There you can see that. You could use the curb potentially as a marker as well, but I would use the grandstand in the grand scheme of it. It's much more obvious to see. Now, as you leave that corner, you're going to head towards the right-hand side here. Now, this corner can get a bit tricky later on in the race with the time transition, but where the dark grey goes to light grey, you can use that. I could see it on lap 12. Consta couldn't. So if you can't see it at that point, you're going to have to start using the end of the wall as a bit of a marker, but that is the better marker of the two. Accelerate through the corner, of course. Now, this corner, you don't want to brake for. You just want to lift and then accelerate as quick as you can, really, through it. Remember, downforce is better simulated in GT7 and GT Sport. This left-hander here, as the curb ends and hits the edge of your screen, that's when you're going to brake. You're going to drop to 3rd gear here. I found 3rd gear to be slightly better, but sometimes it doesn't rotate enough, so you've got to be careful. It will stop oversteer, though, which is why 3rd gear is probably going to be safer for you than it is 2nd. Some people will be able to use 2nd and then go to 3rd. Other people will just use 3rd gear just for the safety. So, next corner, the chicane. On the right-hand side, you've got the orange painted barrier there. Use that as your marker. As that leaves the screen, hit the brakes. You can brake a little bit later, and there is a piece of tarmac there you could use instead. So just judge it accordingly. If you struggle to brake late, use the orange painted barrier. If you can brake really, really late, use the tarmac. On the right side then, we have that big black pole there, the tannoy or light. I'm not sure which one it is. As that leaves your screen, you're just going to dab the brake here. Now, I actually found dropping to 2nd just helped with rotation. And then going back up to 3rd quite quickly actually helped massively, as you see there. So do try that. I think it'll work out well for you. Now, on the left-hand side, we've got the end of the curb. You're going to start braking as that leaves your screen, and you're going to drop to 2nd gear again. You want to go really far out to come back in to give you a nice line, just like that, basically. You see the car is constantly turning. We click the curb and we can accelerate through the corner. No problemo. As we head towards the last corner then, the orange painted barrier on the right side, as that leaves your screen, there are multiple lines you can take here. You saw that earlier on versus max power, but you want the wider line to give you a nice lovely boost off the corner. Well, not the full wide one, it's sort of the middle one, as you see there, because towards the end of the straight, you're not gaining much more speed. So you're basically judging how much you want to stay tight and reduce the track length to how much your top speed is, or how long you stay there. We advanced towards the end then, and nothing's really changed other than wind catching up to us a little bit. I got very bored in that race, and I started losing concentration. And wind is rapid anyway, so that was could have been a nice, interesting end to the race. But you can see there, the Lexus is up there with the GTRs, so pick either one of those. That's going to be it for this week's race guide. I think an okay week for racing. Race A is superb. Race B, just a bit frustrating. It's a duplicate combo already. And at Race C, you can have some good racing, but it needs more strategy. Please, 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 can we just have a bit more strategy in there? And I think it would be golden. Shout out to Consta for winning that race. Shelty, once again, for being in all 3 races. That is going to be it for me this week. I do hope you've enjoyed it. Please give it a like on the way out. Subscribe to the channel if you want to stay in touch with all the content. But as I say, that is going to be it for me. Have a good week of racing, and hope to see you in a video or live stream very soon.